Good morning. Good morning, all of you. If my voice is audible to you, then respond me to the chat box so we can start with the discussion. This is the lab of TE1 class and A batch. So this is the batch of MU students. So those students who are from the GTU, please join your lab. So I think I should say Arjun and Naveen and Ajit. You are requested to join your respective lab. Now, yeah, good morning, Harvest. Good morning. Now, what we are going to discuss today, just let me, yeah, recording is already started. So, today we are going to, this is the first lab of electrical machine 2. And what we are going to discuss today, we are going to discuss about the experiments which we are going to perform during the semester. Okay, so today's discussion will be on the experiments which we are going to perform during the semester. Now, a second important thing that at the end of experiment, each experiment, we are going to have the quiz or the discussion. That depends upon the type of experiment what we are discussing in the experiment. So based on that, you are supposed to give the answers. So that we will take it as a submission part. Okay. So just wait for a minute. Let me share you the list of experiment which we are going to perform during this particular uh, semester. Electrical machine 2. Yeah. And this is the list of experiment. If you are able to see the list on your screen, then let me know into the chat box. If you are able to see the experiment list on your screen. Okay. Now, as you know that in our syllabus, just let me share you the syllabus of your subject. Let me download it and let me share you. And I will show you that what we are going to, uh, because based on the syllabus, because basically our syllabus is divided into two portions. First is the induction machine, on which I already started the discussion, and second one is the synchronous, on which Niro sir has already started the discussion. Just give me a moment. And I will be sharing you the syllabus of machine. Just give me a moment. Okay, so just give me a moment. Okay, so you can see the experiment list on your screen. So first experiment which we are going to perform during this semester. So what we will be doing, as I told you, today we are going to have the discussion on the important aspect, and that aspect is the introduction to the all practicals. Introduction to the all practicals. And first practical which we are going to perform in this semester is to obtain the speed torque characteristics of three-phase squirrel cage induction motor. Now, any one of you, why speed torque characteristics is important? If you can just share your answers into the chat box, and it would be a great. Why always we look for the speed torque characteristics? Any one of you? Why it is important? Any one of you? Why we always focus on the speed torque characteristics? Giving you 2 minutes to respond. What is the significance of speed torque characteristics? You can take your time and you can respond into the chat box. Any one of you? Now, why it is important? Uh, because uh, when, let's say, you want to select the motor for the electric vehicle application, you want to select the motor for the electric vehicle application. So in that case, what you will do? So yeah, got the response from Hagosh. Okay, my voice is crashing. Students, I'm connected to the LAN facility, but I don't know why it is happening. What is the reason behind it? Okay, but the point is, uh, if you talk about the application, let's take one application over here, that is the electrical vehicle. Now, let's say when you are designing the electrical vehicle, and when it comes to the selection of the motor for your electrical vehicle, what you will be looking for in your motor? Let's say you want to select the motor for your EV application. So what you will need in your motor? Please let me know. What features must be there in your motor? So I think I should write the question into the chat box. Please share your responses into the chat box. Correct. Speed and efficiency got the one response. Okay, okay. Any other student? What you will be looking into the your vehicle? Now, if I say you will be looking at your demand of the load, that what the load demands, yes or no. First, you will look at the demands from your load, yes or no. What your load demands, that is very important. Okay, so you can say that what is the demand of your load, or what torque is required at the starting, that is also important. Okay, so will your motor or your motor will be able to produce such amount of starting torque? That is the first thing. Okay, so that is the first thing that you should know about, that will your motor will be able to produce such kind of starting torque, and when and at what speed your motor will run, that is also important. So what you will do when it comes to the motor selection, let's say I'm a manufacturer and I'm manufacturing the 100 types of induction motor. 100 types means in terms of the uh, power capacity. I have a different size of motors, 100 motors I'm manufacturing. And let's say if you are a customer, what you will do, you will come to me and you will say, this is the demand of my load. At starting, I need a motor that produces this much amount of torque, and at running speed it produces this much amount of torque. Let me share you the one data sheet. I think I already discussed that part with you, but let's take one more example so you can understand that aspect. You can understand that aspect. Just a minute. What I'm doing, let me share you the. Okay. Uh, if you are able to see the browser on your screen, then let me know into the chat box. स्क्रीन के ऊपर ब्राउजर दिख रहा है तो एक बार चैट बॉक्स में रिस्पॉन्ड कर दो. And yeah, correct. So you can see that the this is the motor which is used in the Mahindra Electric. And what is this specification? Just look at it has consumed the power of 31 kilowatt at 4,000 round per minute. Torque is 19 Newton meter and 3,000 RPM. And controller means which is this controller has a function to control the motor. So that is the function of the controller. So these are the specification that you are supposed to give to me when it comes to the selection. You can see that top speed is already mentioned 80 kilometer per hour. Top speed personal means 86. So they already mentioned the performance type, and the weight of they already shown these are the various parameters. So you can just go in the detail. So the point I would like to raise over here. So what I will do, I will just look over your demand. What is the requirement at the starting speed? What is the requirement at the running speed? And now I will check the speed torque characteristics of my machines, which are already designed and developed. So I'm going to check, and if any machine uh, a machine demand is matching with yours, then it has to be updated. Okay, so that has that motor is suitable for your application. And if my torque speed characteristics are not matching with your demand, then I need to go for the new machine design. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now the point is why I would prefer to give the motor which is already there in my company, because the reason is the design process of new motor, the manufacturing process of the new motor is costly. Okay, because once we have to design the motor, after designing, simulation has to be done. After simulation, we need to develop it, and if there are defects in it, then it has to be resolved. So I think now you can understand the significance of the first practical. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, now let's move the discussion forward. So we are going to find out the torque speed or speed torque characteristics of three-phase squirrel gauge induction motor. Okay, so just a minute. Let me show you the uh, if I can show you the. It's fine. Okay. If I can show you the one of the application where we have used it in the electrical vehicle. Just a second. It is even used by the many vehicles nowadays. Just a second, if I can show it to you. Yeah, I have one video for you in which they will show you how we can attach it and down. We can just go with it. Just give me a moment. Again, we will perform on the because Hagos, you need to understand over here. If we are performing the squirrel gauge and if you are performing in the slip ring type, then there is the only difference between the rotor construction. In one case, we are not having the winding. In one case, there is a winding. Okay. So as machine working remains same, rest of the parameters will remain same. Is it clear? So if the motor is having the same size and if you are performing the practical on squirrel gauge as well as that, so both will get the same amount of spot torque characteristics. There will be a slightly change. Okay, so that is why we are just performing on one. The point is you need to just understand about the basics of this machine. Okay, so just a minute. Uh, I can show you the, yeah, I have it, but I cannot download it. But even this EVs are nowadays using the uh, three-phase induction motor. Yeah, let me show you. And all videos which I have in which they are showing you the mounting part, that is not important. Uh, let me show you on the YouTube directly. So let me share you the screen. Can you see that this motor? This is the three-phase induction motor which is used in the electrical vehicle application. And this is the ready-made kit which is directly available in the market. You will get the controller with the motor. You just need to attach this with your mechanism. You can see that they have attached it. Let me show you the directly end part so you can understand. Okay, I think now you are able to see that how it is attached. So this is the main your wheels where it is going to be attached, and this is the center shaft which is driving. So over here I'm attaching the motor. Just look over it. And this is the rest of the mechanism where they are attaching the wheels and other things. I'm skipping this part and you can see that. So this is the, so now what you should learn over here nowadays. Uh, it switched from the purchasing a new electrical vehicle, and instead of purchasing a new electrical vehicle, we should go for this one where we don't need to uh, buy the new EV, just replace the with the kit. So kit will be there. You just need to install the kit into your car, and it will work. And I have one more video that is related to the Tesla car, and which uses electrical AC induction motor. Hope it is. Let's wait for a minute because I need to download it because it is there in the YouTube. Okay. So till that, let's move the discussion forward, and that is on. So I think now we are clear with the experiment number one. We are going to perform the torque speed characteristics of the machine. Any query, any doubt? Okay. Now, similar way, we are going to obtain the efficiency and the power factor of three-phase squirrel gauge induction motor. Now, what is the significance of efficiency? Any one of you? What is the significance of? efficiency, any one of you. What is the significance of efficiency? Waiting for a response into the chat box. Yeah, got a response from, okay, two students. I got a response from two students. What about the other student? It seems that all of you are, some of the students are not active in the class. Now, what I'm going to show you now, efficiency is very important. Now, we perform two experiments on the to find out the efficiency of transformer. Which are those two experiments? If you remember, we performed two experiments on the transformer to find out its efficiency. So, if you remember name of those experiment, then let me know into the chat box. Sorry. Okay, correct. Got the response from the Hagosh. And if you remember, we performed the open circuit test and short circuit test on the transformer. And the reason behind performing those tests is to find out the efficiency of the transformer. And as you know that there are two losses which are occurring inside your transformer. What are the name of those losses? Which are the different losses that are occurring inside your transformer? Share your responses into the chat box. Sorry for the network issue. Please share your answers into the okay. So yeah, so we perform the no load test on the transformer to find out the core losses. Yes or no? Core losses means hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. Similar way, we perform the short circuit test on the transformer to find out which losses. Short circuit test we perform on the transformer to find out which losses. You share your responses into the chat box. Find out which losses we are performing this test. Waiting for responses into the chat box. Correct, correct. To find out that losses, copper losses, we are performing this test. And if you remember, we also discussed about the one more important thing, and that is the back-to-back test of the on the transformer. And if I talk about the back-to-back test on the transformer, what is important? In that test, we can find out the both things in the one setup. Means we can perform the open circuit test as well as the short circuit test in with the help of this. Okay, so this is the significance of it. Okay, and now so same way we are going to perform this test on the uh, and to obtain so similar way. Why we are talking about power factor? Because there is inductance on your stator winding is there, so stator winding has its own inductance. So obviously power factor is very important in case of your motor. And to obtain the efficiency and the power factor, so same way to find out the efficiency, because this motor is widely used in the field. So if you are not taking care uh, of it, then it will create a huge problem. It will create a huge problem. So that is why this is very important. So that is this is the significance of this particular. Now to perform this, third is the to perform the no load and the block rotor test on the three-phase induction motor to find out its performance. Okay, now any one of you? This practical is similar to one practical which you already perform on the transformer. Please let me know the name of the practical. Please share your number. Please uh, share your views on it. Which practical we performed on this? Okay. So we already have one setup for it, and in a in which we are going to perform this practical, on which we are going to perform this practical. So if you remember, we performed the open circuit test and short circuit test on the transformer, similar kind of practical we are going to perform on the induction motor, where we are going to perform the two tests on the machine. One is the no load and the block rotor test. Now, what we will do in the no load test, we will run the motor on the no load condition, and we will find out the power consumed by a motor, the no load. And similar way, uh, when we are connecting the load to the motor, what we will do, we will find out the power consumed by the motor, as well as we will also look at the current which is taken by our motor, as well as we will measure the armature resistance, or you can say winding resistance, and by measuring this we can find out that how much copper losses are occurring inside your motor. Now, why these parameters are important? Because when you buy any motor, you will get all these things mentioned on the plate, that what is the maximum speed, what is the maximum torque, what is the efficiency. So that all these things has to be mentioned on your machine plate. Let me show you the one of the plate of the machine, if I can show you. So you can understand that what is the significance of it. So if you are able to see the browser on your screen, then let me know into the chat box. If you are able to see the browser on your screen, then let me know into the chat box. And if you are able to see the browser, you can see that this is the one of the nameplate of the machine, where which things are mentioned. Let's check it. So first is they already mentioned about the power consumed. They are also mentioning about the frequency on it is operating. They also mentioned about the this is the enclosure, which type of enclosure is there and what kind of protection. This you will learn in the higher semester. And efficiency is also mentioned at the 100% full load. At 75%, they already mentioned the efficiency. Okay. Then they are talking about the current. Yeah, this is the maximum speed. They already mentioned about the power factor. You can see that. And these are the very important. So all these things has to be mentioned on your nameplate. Okay. And when you will look at the nameplate, you will come across to know that is this motor is matching up with your requirement or not. Okay. So is there any query regarding this? So this even you can say that this three practicals will also help us to, and at the end of the data, at the end of this practical, whatever data we are getting, that will be mentioned on the nameplate of the machine. So that is why this is very important. Now, any query, any doubt, please let me know into the chat box. Okay. And next is the uh, to determine the regulation, voltage regulation of three-phase alternator by EMF method. So that is this practically is related to the synchronous machine or alternator which you are going to learn in the class, and it will be taken by the Nirav Tulia sir. So same way this practical you will perform to determine the voltage regulation of three-phase alternator by the EMF method. Same way, I think all of you know about the voltage regulation. Do you know about the voltage regulation in the transformer? This phenomena we already discussed in the transformer. Voltage regulation in the transformer. Please, if you know this, then let me know into the chat box. Please, if you remember this answer, please let me know. Voltage regulation. Do you know about the voltage regulation? This term we discuss in the transformer in electrical machine one. What do you mean by voltage regulation in the transformer? Voltage regulation of the transformer. Because if you understand that term, because same answer is over here. Because in case of alternator, as you are connecting the load, that is also going to be happen over here. So voltage regulation is also important in case of the transformer. Not getting the response. So please share your answer so we can keep on discussing. Yeah, correct. Hagosh, your answer is correct. Only student who is responding in the uh, class, and that is the Hagosh. Okay, so now let's continue our discussion. And before I start this continued discussion, let me share you a small video in which I'm going to share you the different types of motor used in the electrical vehicle. If you're able to see the video on your screen.
Perfect for marketing, teaching, fundraising, personal use, and even inspiring others. After all, one of the
Okay, so if you're able to see the video on your screen, then let me know into the chat box. Here they are going to talk about the different types of motor used in the electrical vehicle application. Just wait for a minute. As you confirm, I will play the video. Yeah, just
Mainly
wait.
5 different types of electric motors which are being used in current and upcoming electric vehicles. The first one is brushless DC motor, commonly called as BLDC. The second one is permanent magnet synchronous motor, PMSM, AC induction motor, ACIM, interior permanent magnet motor, IPMM, permanent magnet switched reluctance motor, PMSRM. BLDC motors, brushless DC motor are being used in most of the lightweight two-wheelers and three-wheeler electric vehicles vehicles like electric scooters and electric motorcycles. For example, in electric scooters, Aether Energy, upcoming TVS Crayon, 22 Motors, Hero Electric, Neo Electric Scooters, Yamaha EC03, etc. Example in electric motorcycles, Torque Motors, Emotion Motors, Manza Motors.
Just let me share you the now I'm going to share you the one video in which I will show you the uh,
Hello YouTube.
this is the induction motor, three-phase induction motor, which is used in the electrical vehicle application. I already show you the working part of it, how it is. And now I'm going to show just dismantle this motor. That process I'm going to show you. So you can understand that what is inside this three-phase induction motor. You can conclude that what type of motor it is. So at the end of this video, you need to share me into the chat box which type of motor it is. Okay. Now they are opening the motor. Just go through this process. This is the controller. Observe it carefully because you need to at the end of this video you are supposed to share me that which type of motor it is. Just observe this process carefully. It's a kit which can be directly fitted into your car. Let me just go forward in this video. Now you will see that what is inside it. Okay, now they are just removing that front part. It's an attachment, we can say. Now you can see that he is about to open. Observe it carefully, and as you come to the conclusion that this is this motor, yeah, now they are opening up. I will pause the video for a while when they are just removing the rotor. So you know that how you can identify that which type of motor it is. Okay, now share your answers. Which type of motor it is? Which type of motor it is? Okay, take your time. Let me just show you the remaining part of video. You can see this stator part is there. Good things are there. Now, which type of motor it is? Do you have any answers for it? This is the which type of motor. So it is, we already discussed about the classifications of it. Yeah, correct, Hagos. Correct. It's a squirrel gauge type induction motor because rotor does not having the winding. So it is a squirrel cage type motor. Let's move forward in the discussion, sharing you the. I have one video in which they are discussing about the uh, significance of the uh, induction motor, induction motor used in the electrical wheel application. Just let me share it with you. If I can find it down and I can share it with you. It's the technology which they are using, and the way they have designed it. It is you should have a look over it. Just a second. I already have that video, but let me find it out where it is. And it's a very interesting video in which they also focused on the design aspects of. So where it is, let me show you. Hmm, where it is. I think I show that video in the. I forgot it where I placed it, but it's fine. Okay, I cannot find that video right now, but I show it to some of the students. Okay, so let's go back to these practical. So same way, voltage regulation is, as you know about the voltage regulation, it is very important. Is a difference between no load voltage to the load voltage. And similar way, when you are connect alternator means it's a generator. So when you are connecting the supply to a generator, at that time, what will happen? Your voltage, there will be a voltage drop in your machine. And due to the voltage drop in your machine, the voltage available at the terminal will be lesser. The voltage which is available at the terminal will be lesser. So that is known as a voltage regulation. So there are three methods that you will learn, and Neerav sir will discuss with you, in which you will learn about the which are the different methods. Sorry, there is a network issue, and due to that network issue, I was just disconnected for the while. Okay, now one interesting video I'm going to show you, in which I'll show you the even one more company is using the uh, electric and let me show you that part. Yeah, just a moment. Let me just download it and let me show you so you can understand this. This is very important. Now, one more company. Okay, now just look at that how they're using the motor, because when it comes to the uh, if you're putting the motor on your EV, then it is also important that you just focus on the cooling. And if you're not focusing on the cooling, what will happen? It will overheat your motor, and as if your motor overheats, then it is going to affect the performance. So just a minute. Just a minute. Let me, as the internet connection is working slow, I will show you the video. Just a second. Let me change my network connectivity. Just switching over this network connection. So okay, now I'm audible. I think uh, you can. Okay. Now let me share you this video just within a minute. Here we will. I will show you that how they are focusing on the cooling as well as the motor which is used for the cooling. Let's wait for a minute because it will take 2 to 3 minutes for getting being downloaded. Okay, so let's continue further. Then we will be performing on the to obtain the direct and the quadrature axis reactances of the machine with the slip test. So reactance, you know about that XL is equal to 2 pi FL, and in this practical we will be discussing about that part. Then experiment number 8, we will discuss about the to perform the synchronization of two three-phase alternator and observe the effect of change of excitation and the speed on load sharing. So I think you remember one practical on in which about the transformer. We discussed about the parallel operation of transformer. All of you remember this? We perform one practical in which we discussed about the one more important thing, parallel operation of transformer. Now, if I want to go for the parallel operation of transformer, what is the basic condition for it? What is the basic condition to perform the parallel operation of transformer? Any one of you? Yeah, correct, Harvus. Now, why we need to go for the parallel operation? That is the first question. Why we need to go for the parallel operation? Okay. Now, the reason to let's say uh, yeah, Ashil Almin. Why I am discussing this, because if you look at the this particular practical, let me highlight this one. Here we are going to perform, we are going to connect the two alternators in the parallel. Okay, so the question is, if you remember, I already discussed this phenomena. Shall mean we are discussing the practical, what we will be doing throughout this semester. So if you remember, let me share it with you. We perform on practical parallel operation of transformer. You remember this practical? Now, why we did this practical? And do you know the answer? What shall I mean? Let's say, let me give you an example. Now, then you will be able to understand that why that practical is related to the alternator. Let's say I have a two transformer, one transformer which has a this design parameters. It's as a 11 kV divided by 230 volt, and output current is 30 ampere maximum. Now, suddenly if load is increased to 60 ampere, now what should I do? I should connect one more transformer of same rating in the parallel, or should I go for the new transformer which is having the rating of this one? What you would suggest? Ashal Almin, please let me know into the chat box, because you raised the question. So for your question, what we should do? We should buy this new transformer, or we should connect this transformer in the parallel? Please let me know into the chat box. You got my question, or I need to explain you again? Shil Almin, are you there? As you're not responding, what we should do? Should I write the explain you this? Yeah, so please answer. If you are not getting my question, then just drop it in the chat box. I will explain you again. Should I explain the question again? Should I explain you the question again? Okay. Again, I'm repeating. Just listen it carefully. Yeah, Hagosh, your answer is correct. But let Ashel Almain to answer this question, because he need to understand that why we are learning this. Now, let's say I have one transformer which has a rating 11,000 or 11 kV by 230 volt, and current rating is 13 ampere. Right now, load which is connected to this transformer is 25 ampere. Now, suddenly, within a 2 year, this load has been increased to 50 ampere. This is happened in the 2 year. Now, what should I do? I have two options right now. First one is I can connect 11 by 230, sorry, 11 kV by 230 volt. A current rating is same, 30 ampere in parallel. This is the first option, which is on your screen, option number 1. And second option is design new transformer with 11 kV by 230 volt and 60 ampere. What you will do? Which option is preferable? Ashel Almain. You are supposed to answer this question. What should I do? What should I do in this case? Okay, got the response from correct. Now, if you are saying one, you're selecting this one, then why this, why? What is the reason? Then second question is why you have selected the one? Because there is a technical reason behind it, why you are going for option number 1. Why we should go for the option number 1? There is a simple answer behind it. Correct, correct. Hagosh, your answer is correct. Because a hint is already on your screen. Why we should go for the option number 1? Because if I'm going with this option, then I need to design it again. Design, testing, manufacturing process. We need to design the laminations. We need to work on the wire designs. All this is very costly. So what we would prefer? We'll prefer to have the parallel operation of this. So same way, if I talk about this alternator or generator, so same way, we should not design a new generator. Instead of designing a new generator, we should keep a same kVA generator in the parallel. Now, what are the conditions for, what are the basic conditions? Let me again ask you one question. Asel Alamin, you have not answered my question. Why? I don't know. So, uh, again, one more question for you. What are the conditions for the parallel operation of transformer? Please. What are the basic condition? Let's say if I want to connect the two transformers in the parallel, what should I take care of? Hope you get the question. Or if you're not able to understand the equation, then let me know into the chat box. Just looking at the chat box, who is going to respond first? Same way, because instead of, I can say, we can replace this word over here with the alternator. It's not like that. We are just putting the alternator in the parallel and we are connecting it to match up with the load demand. Students, no answers from you. Question is on your screen. Asel Almin, are you there? Asel Almin, are you there? Uh, I think you are not in the class. You're I'm not audible to you. Is it so? As you're not responding, yeah. Oh, Agos responded correctly. Very good, dear. So your answer is correct. Your answer is correct. Very good, dear. But what about the Ashel Almain? As he is not responding, let me unmute. Yeah, I got the. What about the Ashel Almain? Let me unmute him. Ashel Almain. Now you can speak if you want to speak something. I don't know what happened to Ashel Almain. Motum has responded. Correct, correct, correct. I think he is not there in the class. Okay, so these are the first is the you should take care of the polarity. I'm mentioning the few important points before you connect any transformer. You should take care of the polarity. You should also take care of the kV rating. Then frequency of supply should be same, so always frequency same. So and the if three-phase transformer is there, we should also look at the phase sequence. So R should be connected R, Y should be connected with the Y, and B should be connected with the B phase. So same way, if I talk about this particular experiment, Ashil Almin, here before you connect two alternators in the parallel, because alternators are run by the prime movers. So mechanical input has been given to this generator. So before you connect, let me show you the practical part over here. Let's say, let me draw it on your screen. This is the alternator 1 and this is the alternator 2. Now, this is the, let me draw the bus bar over here. Now, all of you are supposed to answer this question. This is the R phase. This is the Y phase. And this is the B phase over here. Sorry. So this is the alternator 1. A1 I'm writing over here. And this is the alternator 2. Now, let me put this switch in between over here. This is the switch. Now, why I'm just putting this, you will understand within a minute. Wait for a minute. But I'm not getting the response from Ashel Almin where he is. I think he left the session. Okay. Now, here, this switch is open right now. This switch is open. Now you are supposed to answer my question. Now I'm just creating some kind of condition. Okay. Right now, this line voltage is 400 volt. This is also already connected and frequency is 50 Hz. Now, if this alternator is generating 380 volt, and if you turn on this switch, what will happen? Waiting for a response into the chat box. Question is already on your screen. Ashil Almain. Ashil Almain, are you there? Question is raised over here in front of you. If alternator 1 is connected to the system bus bar, this is the bus bar. Yeah, so please answer this question. Even you have not answered the last question. So what will happen? This is the generator. If you don't know about the alternator, this is the generator. Please focus here how I can repeat whole this, because even you have not answered this question. I don't know what you are doing in the hostel, what you are doing right now. Okay, I'm repeating. Please focus right now. This is the alternator 1 or generator 1 which is connected to the bus bar. You know about the bus bar? This is the bus bar to which where the load is connected. Here the load is connected. Now this alternator is already connected to the system and it is generating the 400 volt and frequency 50 Hz. And this alternator 2 is right now generating the 380 volt. Now, if I connect this alternator 2 to the bus bar, then what will happen? What will happen if I connect alternator 2 with the bus bar? What will happen? Any one of you? You need to apply the simple basic fundamental law of electrical to get the answer. Basic fundamental law you are supposed to apply over here. Okay, now look at this. This bus voltage is 400 volt and this voltage is 380. So if you're connecting to this system, what will happen? Current will flow into the alternator or current will flow out to the alternator. Two options. First is current will go towards the alternator or current will come out from the alternator. Two options are on your screen. Please select the appropriate answer. Now hint is given to you. Hint is given to you. Not getting a single answer from your side. Please respond your answers into the chat box. So obviously this current, correct. How goes you are going in the correct way, direction. So there is a voltage difference between the bus bar voltage and the alternator voltage, and you can see that your bus bar voltage, your bus voltage is greater than your alternator voltage. So current flows from high voltage to low voltage. So in that case, it will go from your bus bar to the alternator. This is the phenomena which is going to be happen if you are connecting at this particular condition. So that is why before you connect this alternator 2 with the bus bar, the first condition is that the bus voltage should be not be equal less than this one. Okay. Otherwise, current will go into the alternator. Second is frequency. The frequency of this alternator should be equal to the frequency of this alternator. So this is very important. Second is the frequency, and third is the phase sequence. R phase of alternator 2 has to be connected to the R phase. Y phase has to be connected to the Y phase, and B phase has to be connected to the B phase of the bus bar. Is it clear? Or it is not clear? Okay. If you are having any query, any doubt, then let me know into the chat box. So that is why, Arshil Almin, I started the discussion with the transformer, because same phenomena is happening over here. Is it clear now? Is it clear now? Why I discuss with you? And Hagos, I think now it is clear with you also. Is it clear? So next is the practical which we are going to perform on the synchronous motor is the perform the V curve. This is very important. Not getting the response from all the students, so wait for a minute. Students, please respond. Okay. Now V curve we will plot in case of synchronous motor, where we are going to plot the graph of stator current versus the field current for the different constant load. The graph is plotted between the armature current and the field current. So we are going to plot the graph of armature current and field current. The construction of synchronous motor is different from the induction motor, but you will learn in the class. Neeraj is going to teach you that parameter, and we will perform this VCO, and this is very important. So a different loading condition. Again, I'm repeating. We are going to plot the graph of armature current versus field current at different loading condition. And the last experiment which we are going to discuss in this particular lab is to perform the load test on the single phase induction motor, because we are widely using this motor in the routine application. So that is why the last experiment will be on the performing the load test. We are going to change the load applied to the induction motor, and we will try to calculate the various parameters. Even we are also going to find out the equivalent circuit parameter in this case. So this is all about the experiment which we are going to discuss during the lab hours. So Up to this point, if you're having any query, any doubt, then please let me know into the chat box. Any query, any doubt? Now, let me show you that video where they are going to show you the technology. Yeah. Now just look at this motor. If you're able to see the video on your screen, then let me know into the chat box. Okay. Just look at the, need to observe that how they're working on the cooling and just observe the motor and let me know that which motor it is. Now here, this, they are providing the cooling on the winding. As well as on the rotor. And the blue part which you can see that shows the flow of the coolant which is passing from the various parts of your machine. So even from the rotor they are passing the coolant. So this is about the coolant and this is about the your motor. So this is how we need to focus on the various aspect when it comes to the motor design. Cooling is very important in case of the electrical vehicle application. Okay, so we are keeping the discussion up to this point. I request all the students to drop their enrollment numbers into the chat box for your attendance. I request all the students to drop your enrollment number into the chat box for your attendance. Yeah, correct. Your answer is correct, Hagosh. Please drop your enrollment numbers into the chat box for your attendance. Naveen, you are not supposed to attend the lab over here because this is the lab of MU student. After dropping your number into the chat box, you can leave the session. Have a good day. And in the next lab onwards, we will start with the experiment number 1 on the induction motor. Okay, so here I'm ending the session. Have a good day.